I'm not going to go into the details, you have heard those, but I'm going to speak to you about passion. I was 4 years old the first time I went into a public school, and that was in Dillsboro, North Carolina. It was in an old building, and I'll never forget the smell. Some of you who've been around a long time will remember the oil smell of old wooden floors. I was captivated. I went in to see my mother's classroom, and it was a classroom full of children in 2 grade levels. But do you know, that day I fell in love with public schools, and I've never stopped loving them. And I've come full circle. As a student educated in public schools through college, as a parent whose children were educated in public schools, as the wife of a husband educated in public schools, and a long line of educators. Today, my proudest accomplishment is being a grandparent. And if I were not here today, I would be tutoring 3rd grade children in reading at Fletcher Elementary School, where I've worked as a parent volunteer for 4 years. I'm feeling a need that this 3rd grade teacher can't meet through what is being offered by the state. She doesn't have an extra set of helping hands. And fortunately, with my reading certification and my background, I can offer that, and I can offer it to precious children who are struggling to achieve. Every single day that I'm in my grandson's school, I see the needs in a multitude of ways. When I left and retired in 2003, I felt so good about public education. During 36 and a half years, I was part of the building process. And I want you to know, when I started teaching, I taught for 9 months. If we had snow, my salary didn't come until I had fulfilled that 9 months. I had no health insurance, no tenure, no professional development. If I were to do a permanent record, I took them home because I had no work days. By the time I left public school, teachers were for the first time beginning to be in a professional work environment, one that thrilled me and made me so proud. They had training that was second to none in the United States. I traveled all over the United States in my role as Associate Superintendent at National City Schools, looking at the best programs, studying them, and bringing them back for our teachers, and becoming part of a national movement. Everywhere I went, people came to me and sought me out, and they said, "You're from North Carolina. Tell us how you did it. You have one of the most progressive states in the nation." I'm telling you the truth. This was in Chicago. This was in New Haven, Connecticut. This was in San Diego, California. It was everywhere. And I left with this great feeling of pride. And then I began to watch as gradually, bit by bit, public education in North Carolina was eroded. For whatever reason it was, it just kept going down. And I kept going and helping to the extent that I could. When I got a call about coming to this meeting, I told the person that called me, I said, "You're dealing with my passion." Because the minute I heard about vouchers, I began to just feel despair, disappointment, disbelief that anyone in leadership in any state in the nation would think that peeling off money from public schools, particularly at a time when they're not fully funded. There's great inequity in this state. I was reading the Asheville Citizen just this week of the numbers of teachers in the state who've been lost, but saying the real numbers that are being put out from the state are maybe 200 or 300 teachers less. Well, that's because some systems are wealthy enough, and I've been in that system, where they can make up the difference. But that is not true in the state. Universal education funded by the state that is equitable is not in place. And to come at a time and take additional money is absolutely wrong. And I am pleased to be part of a fight against it, one that I believe that we can win because we're on the side of right. Many years ago, I read a quote from John Dewey, and it has been a guiding principle in my life in education ever since. And I hope I don't stumble, but I will try to tell you what it said. John Dewey said that what the wisest and best parent wants for his or her child, that must the community want for all of its children. Any other ideal is unlovely. Acted upon, it destroys our democracy. The public schools of this nation, of this state, are the lifeblood of a democracy. The citizens of this state have a moral imperative to fund our schools, to support our teachers, to keep our children at the center of everything we do. For my little grandchild, I left his birthday party last night, and my daughter graciously drove us here this morning so that I could speak to you about my passion and my belief in public education. This is wrong, and we must defeat it. Thank you.